Welcome to The Explainer, where we're digging into a powerful story about competition, spirit, and what it really truly means to win.
So let's just jump right in with a big question. Is winning the only thing that matters? It's something we all run into, right? In sports, at work, in life. We're going to explore this whole idea through a story about two competitors who could not be more different. And what happens when they finally face off? Well, it reveals a much deeper lesson for all of us.
Okay, first up, let's meet one of our main characters, Prabhat. For him, the world was incredibly simple. You either win or you lose, and you can bet he did everything in his power to stay in that winning category.
I mean, that feeling of victory was his everything. It was like a high he was constantly chasing. And on the flip side, losing. Well, losing was just this terrible, awful feeling that he would do anything to avoid. So to avoid that feeling, he came up with a pretty extreme rule for himself. If he even sensed he might lose a game, he just wouldn't play, period. This meant he stuck to games he knew he could absolutely dominate, like his all-time favorite, badminton. But as you can probably guess, Prabhat's safe little world of guaranteed wins is about to get completely shaken up. A new student named Surya arrives. And not only is he an amazing badminton player, but he brings this totally different, relaxed energy to the court. And the contrast between them is wow. It's just night and day. On one side, you've got Prabhat, who's deadly serious, completely obsessed with the outcome. And then you have Surya, who seems like he's just there to have fun. He's laughing, cracking jokes, and yet he is an absolute phenomenon on the court. So, what happens when these two totally opposite mindsets finally clash? This is where the story gets really, really interesting. So the match gets underway, and it's obvious pretty quickly that Surya is just the better player. He's racking up points with ease, all while keeping the mood super light. For Prabhat, though, this is a disaster. He just can't handle the idea of losing. So, in a moment of panic when Surya is distracted, he cheats. He actually changes the scoreboard to make himself the winner. He got the result he wanted, but it was a victory in name only. And this right here just perfectly captures the difference between them. After the loss, Surya's not mad, he's not complaining, he just says, "It's been fun, we should play again." For him, the score was completely beside the point. The experience was the real prize. Now, you'd think Prabhat would be ecstatic, right? He got the W, but that night, he couldn't sleep. That amazing feeling of happiness he always got from winning, it just wasn't there. All he felt was this hollow, restless feeling. He knew the win was a lie, and it was eating him up. This next part was a huge turning point. The next day, Prabhat sees Surya playing basketball, and he is terrible at it. Just hopeless. But here's the thing that blows Prabhat's mind. Surya has that same huge, happy smile on his face. No frustration, no embarrassment, just the pure joy of playing. And seeing that one simple thing, it changes everything for Prabhat. A little light bulb goes off, and he starts to realize that maybe, just maybe, the scoreboard isn't the most important part of the game after all. He starts to piece together a whole new set of rules. You don't need a scoreboard to have fun. You don't have to live in fear of losing. The whole point is just to enjoy the game for what it is, to try your best and just soak in the experience. What Prabhat was finally discovering is something we call sporting spirit. And it's so much more than just playing by the rules. It's an entire attitude. It's about being fair, respecting the other players, and valuing the game itself more than the final tally. It's basically everything Surya had from the very beginning. And this new mindset completely changed things for Prabhat. He started trying games he knew he wasn't good at. He started laughing during matches. And people noticed. He became the kind of person others wanted to play with. Not because he was a guaranteed winner, but because he was actually fun. You know, this whole idea of just getting lost in the moment is captured so perfectly in a short poem from our source. It goes, "We run so fast, I can't even catch my breath." The way the words are even laid out on the page, it kind of mimics that feeling of being breathless, right? It forces you to focus on the physical feeling, not some end goal. This is just such a beautiful way to look at it. The poem describes this game that goes on and on until the sun finally sets. And the last line is amazing. It just says, "Night wins." Think about that. Not a person, not a team. The winner is night. The end of the game isn't a loss. It's just the natural, beautiful end of a fun day. So, if we want to find that kind of balance and joy that Surya just seemed to have naturally, how can we actually do it? How can we practice it in our own lives, just like Prabhat had to learn to? Well, one practice that is literally built on this very idea is yoga. The word itself comes from the Sanskrit root yuj, which means to join or to unite. And that's the whole goal, to unite the mind and body, thought and action. The whole practice is built around finding harmony, not competition. And you can really see this unity when you look at the benefits. Sure, a big chunk, about 40% is physical. You get more flexible, stronger. But then another 35% is purely mental. It calms you down, cuts stress, helps you focus. The rest is overall health. It's truly a workout for your mind and your body. The real key to yoga is being present. You can't just be going through the motions and thinking about your to-do list. Your mind has to be right there with your body, connecting every single movement with your breath and awareness. It's like a practical way to train ourselves to find that same balance Surya had so effortlessly. So, what's the real takeaway from all of this? It's about this massive shift in perspective. The true victory isn't about beating someone else on a scoreboard. It's about being fully present and finding joy in the experience itself, whether you win, you lose, or there's no score at all. And that leaves us with one final thought to take away with you today. Just think about your own life for a second. Your work, your hobbies, your relationships. Where could you maybe focus a little less on the score and a little more on the joy of just playing the game? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.